What is up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Johnny Shreve, IFBB Pro, and Mr. Tell Like It Is. This is probably one of the most important videos I'm going to do thus far. Larry Wheels has relapsed. He started using steroids again. If you don't know who Larry Wheels is, you might be under a rock, but either way, he is a famous powerlifter, probably one of the strongest powerlifters on this planet, probably one of the strongest men on this planet, one of, amongst very few, and he decided to stop using steroids and he relapsed and he's back on steroids and he's giving us his heartfelt message of the dangers of steroids. And this is a great opportunity for me to chime in as well too, because I stopped using steroids 3 years ago and the dangers of using steroids are extreme. And I'm going to tell you guys something for the first time that I haven't said to anybody yet. So let's watch this video, guys, and I'm gonna respond to it and give you guys my opinion.
I had, as of 3 months ago, relapsed and gone back on a full steroid cycle. Now, the reason why I stopped in the first place, for those who didn't watch the video, is to stop compromising my health, to ensure that I can have a happy, healthy marriage with my wife, and to focus more on my business, being PR and now the gym.
So if you guys don't know, 3 years ago, I stopped using steroids 3 years ago. The last show that not the last show that I just did, the Mass Olympia, but 3 years ago, I was in preparation for the Tampa Pro, the Dallas, and that was my first time going down to the 212 class, and I was using steroids at that time. Right before leaving my house, I collapsed. I caught a stomach virus. My body fat levels were so low that when I caught the stomach virus, there was absolutely nothing my body could do but just run through its course. And I was hospitalized, in and out of the hospital for 3 days. Like an outer body experience. My daughter at that time is sitting behind me, rubbing my back saying, "Daddy, everything's gonna be okay." And I'm literally throwing up in the toilet and then throw up diarrhea, and I was rushed to the hospital. At that time, my channel was, it just reached 100,000 subscribers. At that time, I was like, oh my God, I reached 100,000 subscribers. I'm about to do the show. I look really good. All things are gonna just increase in terms of like sales, my business, and viewership. It's gonna be amazing. And then that happened. In that process, it just really occurred to me what was really important, and that was my health. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. And at that point, I was like, I'm retired. I'm finished. I'm not gonna compete anymore. And I stopped doing steroids. And I've been clean from steroids since October 2021. I have not been on HRT, peptides, SARMs, growth hormone, pro hormones. I'm listing these things off because if I don't say all these things, then whoever in the comment section will be like, well, you could be doing this. And look, I've been off since 2021, October. It's been 3 years. I understand where he's at. And I understand that how hard it can be to stay off steroids. Because when you start doing steroids and you make the progress that you make, and through that process, things in your life start to increase in terms of like maybe you're getting more income or maybe popularity. Once you stop doing steroids, there is a massive temptation to want to do it again because pretty much almost built your brand being that person.
I faced several challenges with my company PR that led me to go into panic mode and make a decision to pursue bodybuilding in an attempt to bring more eyeballs on what I'm doing. Now that is a massive mistake. That is not what I should have done to build my brand. I know how to do that. And that was a coward approach because I was scared to venture into the mindset of a businessman and abandon what I know best, which is creating content and generating sales based on what I'm doing as an individual.
The funny thing is that, he's saying why he went back on. And I'm going to be completely and utterly open, transparent right now. My channel's been going through, I wouldn't necessarily say challenges, but when it comes to ideation and content delivery, it's a constant stay in front of a trend, make sure you're delivering value, appeasing to your subscribers, to you guys. I constantly am in the process of finding out what you guys want to watch that aligns with what I want to, film, give you guys the value, but in turn, get good views from it. Every channel goes through, ups and downs. I've had a channel for 12 years, and my rise, I guess, happened about like 3 years ago during the pandemic. And my brother was literally said something to me the other day, and it hit me in the gut. It literally hit me in the gut. And he's like, do you think that maybe because views are a little low is because, you're not as jacked as you were before? He literally said that to me. He's like, look at Dr. Mike and some other channels, these guys are like big, vascular, this and that. Do you think that because you don't look like that anymore, that's affecting your channel? And it hit me in it was a gut punch to me. It took me back, because I was sitting there like, you really think that people care what I look like as opposed to what I'm actually saying, what I'm delivering, the content that I'm putting out? So I can just see just from that comment itself that how hard it would be for someone like Larry to come off of steroids. Like literally his entire channel from day one. He's probably been on gear. He's showed his life in terms of like his powerlifting meets, his feats, his strength, all the things that he does. He's a freak. And you believe that that's who you are. That's your identity. Your channel identity is this like figure of a person doing all types of, athletic, athletic feats of strength and those things. And then you come off, then all of a sudden you're wondering like, oh shoot. And it makes you think. And it did make me think. I'm gonna be honest. I literally was just like, should I? Like, is that like what it is? And then and right in that second, I'm dead serious and tell my brother, I'm like, it's not. It's not. I'm like, it's definitely not it. Retention and all those things when it comes to content is just better strategy. But there was that second where I was literally it was probably the first time in 3 years that I was like, maybe I should go back on. But it's those things of awareness that I have in my head that I'm like, if it wasn't for me being in therapy and, really working on my mental health and self-awareness, I probably easily would have been like, let's go grab a bottle of testosterone and start. So I completely understand where he's coming from, and I commend the crap out of him. I commend the heck out of him for actually coming out and saying this, because this takes courage. Because he doesn't have to say anything, because it's none of our business. It is none of our business. What I do in my life is none of your business. So when a YouTuber decides to come out and be honest about something, I think it takes a lot of courage. But the other thing too is that is the biggest lie, and it's also the biggest misconception when it comes to bodybuilding and steroid use. For the most part, people get into bodybuilding because they believe that it's going to bring them some level of fame and success. There's like, I remember asking, Dr. Michael, why are you you're a professor, you're successful, your channels, why are you competitively bodybuilding? Like, he's already successful. His channel's got almost 2 million subscribers. He's not gonna make he's not gonna make not even a fraction of the money he makes being a competitive bodybuilder. But it becomes one of those things where it's like, I need to get to this level. I need to get to this place, and this is a goal I need to reach. When you get there, what is it gonna do for you? Other than give you an IBB Pro in front of your name, what is it going to do for you? And is it worth it? All the things you put into your body to get that pro card, is it worth it? And some people look at me like, Johnny, what are you talking about? You do it yourself. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Like, am I like, it becomes one of those things you're thinking about your identity. Am I still Johnny SHREVE without being a pro? Like I 5th place in the Master Olympia, and I did that gear free. Was it worth it? For me, I can't say it wasn't worth it, because that was a goal that I set for myself on a different mission. When I started my channel, it wasn't to sell anything. It wasn't to become famous. It was my channel literally started right after, like, I'm talking after addiction counseling, and I finished college and everything, and I got into this sport or into bodybuilding because I wanted to showcase to people that you can blow it. You can make all the mistakes in your life, but you can create a second chance. You can be the hero in your own success story. And that's what I was trying to do. And it turned it into this quite naturally. But I'm like, here to tell you guys, it's like, don't start doing steroids because you believe it's gonna bring you some level of fame. There's a lot that comes with doing steroids that you guys don't know. And when you start doing steroids, it's gonna be damn well hard to stop. If you do steroids and you can stop, and you make it out without any type of side effects, you're lucky. because I thought I was lucky. I thought I came out of this thing without any problems. And I'm here to tell you that I didn't. I'm here to tell you the first time that I actually didn't make it out.
So me choosing to get back into bodybuilding was not from a place of passion, because since I started training, bodybuilding was never a passion of mine.
I can tell you right now that being a coach, it's probably more than this, but more than 50% of people that get into bodybuilding get into it for the wrong reason, especially now. Like I said, when I started bodybuilding, it was, I finished, when I started bodybuilding, my quest to be a professional bodybuilder was because I had this massive void in my chest from what I believe at the time was a failing attempt at becoming a professional football player. That's it. But for the most part, people get into bodybuilding, they do steroids and get into bodybuilding because they believe that once you get your pro card, once you're big enough and strong enough, that people are gonna look at you different. So like the fact that he's saying this is like a massive, massive help for people out there who are contemplating, hey man, I wanna do steroids. Do you know how many people that I know that are professional athletes, professional bodybuilders, both men and women? I'm looking at them and I'm like, why don't you just, whether it's a beautiful woman or it's a good looking male, I'm like, you don't need this sport. You don't need this competition to be successful. You can stop right now and just continue to be successful because people like you for what you have in terms of your value. But to put your wealth and your worth and your value into this and into steroids, it will leave you unsatisfied.
And my aspirations and ambitions have changed dramatically from when I first came on the scene in social media. And me hopping back on steroids is going against everything I said I would do. It's compromising my health, my integrity, because now I'm going against my own word. It's compromising my trust. And with you, the fans that are watching my content,
I've been very vocal about my mental health since day one. That's my channel. The core of my channel is mental health. It is mental health awareness to the nth degree. I've been open about my diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. So I'm not ashamed to say to voice the struggles that I've had in the past and how much therapy and dialectical behavioral therapy has helped me. So I've always wanted to be a voice of reason and hope for those who have or maybe struggle with their mental health. You inject a needle into your body and then you put a foreign substance into your body. Hormones, alcohol, and oils. And I shot my right arm, my right shoulder, left shoulder, right glute, left glute. And for so many years, I was like, man, my right glute, and it's right by my hip. I shoot where you're supposed to have friends that are nurses and they, tell you exactly where you're supposed to. And I thought that, yeah, because I'm getting advice from, the right people, that's where you should shoot. And it is where you should. That's where you should. Unfortunately for me, the amount of times that I shot my right hip has created deterioration, resulting in a labrum tear. And yeah, I can do a lot of things. I can still jog and I can still jump and I can still, I can still play with my daughter, but I can't do certain range of motions that I can't do. I can't lunge anymore. At the beginning of my career, someone's gonna be like, hey, guess what? You're gonna get your pro card. You're gonna be, you're gonna get your pro card. You're gonna have a good, successful YouTube channel, and you're gonna go on the Mass Olympia stage, not enhanced, but you're gonna end up with a torn labrum. Would you do it? I'd be like, no, 100% no. No, it is not worth it.
Being a competitive bodybuilder, even at the amateur level, trying to go pro, let alone as a pro level, at the pro level, trying to become next Mr. Olympia, is a very restrictive lifestyle. And my hat goes off to those that are able to keep a healthy relationship and build their business and live and manage a successful career while being a competitive professional bodybuilder. I've had partners, I've had girlfriends, and they come and go. And if they weren't willing to support my lifestyle, for me, that was fine. I was selfish. I was saying, hey, listen, if you don't want to live this life with me, then you can go kick rocks. But betrayal to her, she didn't marry a bodybuilder. I wasn't a bodybuilder when she met me. And I don't even like myself when I'm deep in prep as a bodybuilder.
Like I said, guys, I'm not here to be a hypocrite. I've had troubles with drugs in my past, and I've been open about it. I've been through, I've done it. I've lived the bodybuilding lifestyle. I've done it. I won my pro card. I competed as a open class pro bodybuilder. I've taken foolish amounts of steroids. I've made it to the Master Olympia stage, closest I'll make it to the Olympia stage. I look back and I'm like, would I trade it for my health? No, I wouldn't trade it for my health. That's why I'm not doing steroids anymore. But I'm here to just tell you that before you make that decision, or maybe you're already doing it right now, and maybe you're seeing signs already of, maybe you're feeling the same way Larry is. Maybe me having this conversation with you, you're starting to think, is it really worth it? Is it worth my health? Is it worth my mental health? Is it worth the time I'm not gonna get back? Not everybody wins. There's a very small minority of people who end up competing as a bodybuilder and being successful at it. And especially now that there's pro cards giving it left and right. If you're on the fence, you're thinking about, hey man, do I want to do steroids? I'm saying no, don't. If you think that it's gonna bring you fame and fortune, it's not. If you think that you're gonna get more popular or women, and speaking of the men, you won't. If you're a woman and you think you want to do it, you think it's gonna make you a certain way, it's not. I'm here to tell you that I'm lucky that I only got out of this with a torn labrum. Think of what I just said right now. I'm lucky that I made it out of this with just a torn labrum. I don't have an ACL, and it makes sense because I did it playing football. In the 15th year of playing football, I got tackled and tore my knee. You're supposed to. That's good. Not supposed to get hurt, but it's gonna happen. Like a concussion. The fact that my steroid use resulted in deterioration in my hip, causing a labrum tear, and I'm saying I'm lucky that's all I got, should kind of raise some eyebrows. You don't need steroids to get to your goals. You wanna get as strong and as lean and change your physique. Just do all the things that you have to do anyway, that even the people who do steroids have to do regardless. You still have to eat enough protein, enough calories, sleep, drink water, hydrate, rest. You still have to do those things, but do them on a consistent basis. You can still reach your goals without steroids. My goal here isn't to rain on your parade, it's to raise awareness, just like Larry is. So I commend Larry for coming out and actually saying this and being honest and open about it. And I'm here to do the same thing for you guys. If what I say right now can change someone's mind and the other end of the screen and deter them from doing something that might most likely will have a negative effect on their life, I did my job. And for those of you who are still contemplating whether or not you want to do it, or just take a look at my life and Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels is a successful YouTuber, a successful powerlifter, successful all those things. But do steroids make up the person he is? No. Do steroids make up the person I am? No, it's something that I did in my past. And what I'm doing now matters the most. And that's the same thing for you. So I hope this brings some insight to you. I hope that it can raise some awareness, give you some more clarity on deciding whether or not you want to use steroids or just even competitive bodybuilding. Again, you can bodybuild without using steroids. If that's the case, compete without using steroids. When it comes down to it, like I said, if someone came to me 12 years ago and said, hey, by the way, when this is all said and done, you're gonna have a torn labrum, would I still compete? I wouldn't. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Come with that tell it is transparent, vulnerable truth. For coaching, JONNI.com. If you want to know more about my coaching, guys, book yourself a 1-hour video consult with myself. And at the end of that consult, I deduct $100 off any package that you pick. And guys, hit the description below for those discount codes or promo codes to help save your life or change your life for the better. Anyway, guys, I'm on Instagram and TikTok. Send me your progress pic, your training pics, and your video clips, and I'll repost it for you because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.